Dr. Joubert, we have talked extensively on toxicity.
Yes.
I'd like to get into another category of it, all right? I mean, and part of that is fragrances that you may apply, and not necessarily what it's going to do to you. Let's talk about the environment around you.
You really want me to talk about fragrances? Have you got 2 hours?
Well, all right, but let's talk about smoking.
Yes.
Let's talk about what with dry cleaned clothes and the beauty of the fact that many clothes now don't have to go to the dry cleaner.
Exactly.
Let's talk about what you throw into your dryer so that your clothes will smell good. How deleterious are those to the people around us in our environment, because we're taking that action? And also, what does all this do to the pets in the home?
It's horrible. A couple of pointed examples will probably be the best for our audience. One is that we know smoking is now prohibited in many, illegal in many places. In Idaho, where I live, and in Washington, there can't be any smoking where there's food, for instance. But the reason they did that was because they felt that legally, and I agree, no one has the right to invade your airspace without your permission. So if I say, I'm going to blow smoke in your face, is it okay with you, Mr. Hurd? And you say, oh, go ahead, that's fine, but that's not what people were doing. It's the same thing with fragrances. Fragrances, the majority of them are made, all of them that are synthetic, are made without any laws controlling the ingredients that they put in them, because they're not ingested. They're proprietary formulas, meaning it's their exclusive formulas, and there's no law that makes you disclose what's in them. We know as a fact that there are toxic waste materials that are being used as a carrier for some of the fragrances. There's a huge lawsuit, you can look it up on the internet, that's been going on in California for years, because the way that they could save money was they found that some toxic waste, if they put a drop or two of an essential oil, which is organic, it went a lot further, so it was cost effective because the toxic waste held onto the fragrance longer. So, but most synthetic fragrances, even if they don't have toxic waste, are petrochemical based, and they're all chemicals. They're synthetic. They're fragrances that are made artificially, which are very toxic. I'm not talking about an organic essential oil. When you use a fragrance, you have a social responsibility, in my opinion, to all of those around you, just as if you were smoking and blowing it in their face. There is one municipality, one province, that has passed a law against any fragrances in public within the city limits, and that's Nova Scotia, Halifax, Nova Scotia. I was just there this last year. And in Halifax, they cannot use fragrances in public within the city limits. It's a misdemeanor, and there's a fine every time. And the reason for that is because there's so many asthmatics, there's so many people now with multiple allergic responses, MARS, that are, whether it be migraine headaches, whether it be a throat closure from an anaphylactic reaction, a skin rash, sore throats, it doesn't matter what it is. You're invading the airspace of people without their permission.
So
it's very, very dangerous. And the same thing with dry cleaning. I have clothes that have to be dry cleaned. So I have them dry cleaned, and I have an arrangement with my cleaner that after he dry cleans them, right on the hook, when somebody picks them up, is another clean plastic bag that hasn't been on the clothes, hasn't been exposed to the chemicals. I take them home. If it's summer, I put them out on my deck for a couple of days underneath the eaves in case it gets damp. And if not, I put it in my mudroom in the winter. After the smell, after it's off-gassed, then I put the clean plastic bag on the clothes and put them in my closet, so that there isn't those chemicals that you're sandwiching between the clothes, hanging it in your closet, and then that's airborne when you open that wrap. It's airborne and in your bedroom. That's the most toxic thing that you can do. And the room that should be the safest and non-toxic for your health is your bedroom, because that's where you spend most of the time, and that bedroom should be the safest place in your home.
So really what we need to understand is the fact that there is an enormous cascade of toxicity that takes place in our society that we can have personal kind of control over in the actions that we take, and we need to be aware of that, and we need to make the people we know and care about aware of that if we're going to try to hopefully live in a better world, a total health world. Thank you very much, Dr.
You're
Joubert.
very welcome.